What are the worst crimes imaginable? Burglary, assault, murder? Well, that's nothing compared to speaking the truth and expressing views shared by millions. Enter stage left, a straight-talking Home Secretary in Suella Braverman, who faces the sack for daring to point out the wild inconsistencies of the police's treatment of protesters. In a Times newspaper article not approved by Number 10, which means it's worth reading, she draws a comparison between how cops handled people who went onto the streets during the pandemic to object to lockdowns and the treatment of people out marching for Black Lives Matter, a now discredited and corrupt organisation underpinned by a hellish dystopian Marxist ideology. Lockdown protesters, to whom history has been rather kind, let's be honest, well, they were grabbed, manhandled, seized and bundled into the back of police vans. Meanwhile, police rolled out the red carpet for BLM protesters, even taking the knee in what was to become the shape of things to come: partisan policing. Police danced along with Extinction Rebellion and wore the rainbow flag as they brought London streets to a standstill, whilst women out protesting over the murder of Sarah Everard were treated like terrorists. If only cops had done the same over the last 4 weekends, with demonstrators in the capital and elsewhere calling for actual terror acts. Now, I love our police. I think they're the best in the world, and they have a very hard job. Plus, I don't think they get paid enough, and they've now got to be social workers, medics, counsellors, you name it. But whilst the likes of the Met Police were declared institutionally racist in 1999, British policing is now institutionally woke, as proven by their handling of the pro-Palestinian marches, some of which are now provably linked to Hamas. Cops have stood idly by as protesters have called for the elimination of Israel and the effective extermination of Jews. British policing has a cultural problem. It picks and chooses its causes and seems to side with the progressive agenda, with a woman apprehended for praying outside an abortion clinic and a SWAT team of cops turning up at the house of a young autistic child who said a female police officer looked like her lesbian auntie. So you can call for a holy war on the streets of London, or an intifada, which means suicide bombs on buses and in restaurants, but call someone a lesbian and you're going down, so to speak. Suella Braverman has done us all a favour and sparked a debate about what the police's seeming appeasement of religious extremism actually means. We've seen it before. They completely failed in their duty to protect the Batley school teacher who showed pupils an image of the Prophet Muhammad as an educational tool in a media studies class. Police bowed to the mob, and this poor man is still on the run, with his family also on the run, no job and afraid for his life. That is a failure of policing. We had the spectacle of a Wakefield child holed up in a bizarre kangaroo court of angry clerics following the alleged defacing of a Quran in the classroom. Numpty cops just sat there nodding their heads and mumbling about cultural sensitivities or something. I do have one criticism of Suella Braverman. She seems keener on a headline than action. I've yet to see tangible results to back up her strong rhetoric, whether it's clamping down on woke policing or stopping the boats. But in a world of uninspiring politicians who have most of Sherwood Forest up their arse from sitting on the fence, it's refreshing to hear a public figure say what people are thinking. Because if we can't be honest about the challenges our country faces, we will never fix them. If Suella Braverman is sacked, all you're really doing is killing the messenger. But I shouldn't worry. If she goes, the Tories are guaranteed to lose the next election, and she'll be their leader in a year's time. One way or another, Braverman will be rewarded for her bravery.